Joining me now, Fox News political analyst Juan Williams and former White House political director for President George W. Bush, Matt Schlapp. Good to see you both, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Hi, Shannon.
Okay, so listen, a lot of conservatives out there very angry. People who very vocally supported the president said, listen, every rally was build the wall. That was the chant. Now it seems like they are parsing words in Washington. He's saying border security. Everybody's saying border security, but Dems say that's not going to include the wall. Here is what GOP Senator Rand Paul said about this and about the president working across the aisle. He says, I don't think there's anything wrong necessarily with talking with the other side, but bedrock sort of basic principles that you've got to be careful you don't give up. Juan, what's he doing?
Well, I mean, I think the amnesty comes down to the bedrock. You know, when you hear the criticism from the right, from the Ann Coulters of the world, from the Bannons and the Breitbarts of the world, it's about amnesty. And then, of course, you come to the wall and the promise of the wall. The president says the wall will happen. It just won't happen right now. And he emphasizes the notion that Democrats will give him something on border security, added surveillance, electronics, maybe staffing on the border in exchange for the Dreamer plan.
All right, so we have Republican Congressman McClintock saying this was a core, explicit, and graphically clear promise he made to the American people. He says, listen, if he backtracks on this promise, he says, I don't think he'll have a single friend left in the country. Democrats won't be with him, and the base is going to abandon him, Matt.
Yeah, there's no question this is an emotional topic. Whenever we talk about immigration, you know, everybody starts to want to get in on the with their point of view. And I talk to a lot of people around the country, conservative activists around the country, and it seems like in most of their heads what they were mostly concerned about is it seemed like the president wasn't standing firm on the wall. And if he's going to make any deal on immigration, even if they disagree with that deal, they think the wall has got to be part of anything that's done on immigration. And I think the president came, although he talked to the press several times throughout the day, which made yesterday kind of confusing, he made it really clear that the wall has to be a part of this. And I think for most conservatives, it all starts with getting a guaranteed commitment in Congress that they will pass funding for the wall.
But Juan, a number of these so-called moderate House Republicans and Democrats who went to the White House and met with the president this week said there was no quid pro quo. There was no discussion of linking the wall to DACA in any way.
Well, that's what they said, Shannon. You got it right. And it seems like the has been very clear in saying there will be a wall. It just won't happen right now. And saying that, in fact, he's trying to pressure the Democrats as part of the deal to promise that they will not obstruct his efforts in a budget deal or later to get the wall. But in terms of this deal,
which means it's
there's
part of the
no
deal.
wall.
Well, and he says, and to the point where, you know, we've got this Breitbart headline that's calling him Amnesty Don. You know, Juan referenced this idea about amnesty or citizenship. I mean, the president said there is no way we're doing amnesty or citizenship. But there are people inside the meeting who said the idea of a path to citizenship was in some way, sources claim, discussed. And Matt, you know that's not going to go over well with the people who turned out by the millions basically over the course of the campaign to hear him talk about this and saying, day one, I'm going to deport these people, I'm going to build this wall, and these people are not going to take American jobs and they're not going to become citizens. Yeah,
let me just make it clear. If I think the president came back out and fixed this idea about the wall, or at least clarified it, that if that's not part of this overall framework on immigration, there's not going to be any deal. You remember how many times John Boehner and Eric Cantor went up and they thought they had a deal with President Obama and it fell apart because there wasn't trust there. And there's going to have to be a lot of trust for this to happen. When it comes to how you handle illegal populations within the country, what the president said over and over again on the campaign trail is that everyone's going to have to go home and the good ones will be able to come back, and we'll have some kind of expedited process. I think he has to set up a framework. This is the first set of this is the first community he has got to talk about with people called the Dreamers. By the way, there's a lot of people who are trying to come over here legally who have a dream too. So I don't like that title.
But Matt, let me just
finish, Juan. Let me just finish real fast. There's different communities of these folks who are here illegally. He's got to set up a framework that doesn't look like he's just giving blanket amnesty. And I think if he sets up a framework, I think there's a lot of people that will listen.
Well, a lot of the Republican leadership seem a little bit bemused by this, and they say, listen, if he wants to send us whatever deal he's made with the Democrats by it, we'll take a look at it. So
that's right.
We'll see. Juan and Matt, have a great